Hello, Louisiana Beer Reviews. This is the final review of today. We're doing the Tecate Titanium. Now, I told you about this a year ago, and I said I didn't like it, and you said, well, then don't bring it to me, because if you say it's bad, I don't want it. Because he knows I'm tolerant of a lot of...
Look at that fiery phoenix there, that silver phoenix on a black can.
I think it's an eagle, but a phoenix might be an eagle.
Yeah, true that.
You got a great deal on these big cans.
I did. I got 12 of these for 14. But anyway,
12 for $14.
This is rock. This is what we call it high gravity. It's 7.5% in this style.
Yikes.
This is straight out of Mexico. Thank you, Mexico. And it's got a little description on the back that says the perfect beer just got even better. Its fruity touch and aroma and flavor are the result of an obsessive, tireless, and demanding process that distinguishes it with its high alcohol content but great drinkability. The combination of imported malts, we don't know where they're imported from, and the sophisticated process of temperature variations are the secret to create this refreshing, smooth, but brave, not fearful, noble, means smart, and audacious taste. Audacious. So this is called Titanium.
I think Heineken Mexico's out of their minds with that description. But anyway, I'm game.
So we're going to go ahead and taste this, see what this is all about. I'm telling you, this is pretty darn good. Anyway.
I remember when this came out, they talked about, I read some of their sell sheets, and Heineken Mexico was like, man, we worked so hard on this, you won't believe how good it is. And I tasted it, and I was like, okay.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and pour this out.
And if you go to Europe, okay, to Holland and Belgium and the Netherlands, and I mean, Belgium, the Netherlands, and Luxembourg, and those low countries, Heineken makes a lot of really high alcohol beers. What they sell in America is the 5%, the regular beer. But they make a lot of 10, 11% products.
You're saying this is coming from Heineken?
Heineken bought Tecate years ago.
Oh.
It's called Heineken Mexico. I think what they're trying to do is bring in that power approach to the Mexican beers, or to compete with American malt liquors. And I see this Tecate Titanium everywhere. I'm not saying it's not popular.
Well, it's probably a marketing thing on our aspect, since we have a ever-growing Latino population in the United States, and they're trying to just reach out to that segmentation of the population, saying, hey guys, we know what you like, but maybe you like something from the area where you're originating.
If you really want to get bent.
But hey, we're going to go ahead and try this, So.
And if you go to Circle K, this is everywhere. So it doesn't matter if I don't like it. Heineken can say, yeah, well, kiss off.
It's also like, hey, we want to show y'all some love too. So.
Right. Anyway.
Right.
Boy, that's a thick head. Wow.
That is a thick head.
And that's deep golden.
Yeah.
And it's within the Best Buy date, because it's not. The Best Buy is in April, although they spelled it Abril. I guess they were translated it into English. It didn't come out so well. But anyway, I think this is made in Nuevo Leon, Mexico. New Leon, as opposed to Leon, Spain. 194 calories per 12 ounces. So this is a good beer for putting on pounds. And I like what it says, beer. It doesn't say malt liquor. It says beer. Years ago, you could have never sold a 7.7.
How many calories for 12 ounce?
194. So, like I said, it's good for putting on weight. If the doctor tells you...
Cut your carbs, drink your beer.
Right, the doctor tells you you're a little underweight, you need to put on some pounds, this might help.
So it's in bread.
So it's made in Monterrey, Nuevo Laredo, so Monterrey, Mexico. And it's produced by Cuauhtémoc Moctezuma Brewing Company, which is owned by Heineken. But anyway. All right.
I have yet to have a bad beer come out of Mexico.
No? I have had very few.
I've had some that are kind of like questionable, but for the most part, I think the styles are great.
Yeah, I haven't had too many bad ones.
I think they're great.
But this one I thought was bad. I had a brandy that was kind of...
Wait, are we prejudging the beer before tasting it?
No, I'm not prejudging it, because I've actually had 2 cans. So I'm basing it on actual experience from a year or 2 ago. Although, it does have kind of a nice little bright barley malt note.
So with that said, maybe at the time when you got it, maybe it needed to age a little bit to mature with the alcohol content, one might say, based off of your initial analysis of the beer.
Yeah, Heineken Mexico probably watched my video and said, okay, take notes. He's finding these particular faults with it. Let's go re-engineer it based on his taste and notes. Wow, that's probably not really true.
Or maybe they just said, hey, let's go ahead and see what's going on with this.
It does smell a little different.
It's a big boy. I drank one. It's a big boy. I think you're going to enjoy it, though. I did. All right, so with that said, let's look at the appearance. The appearance is golden.
Deep gold, yeah.
Gold. The head is dissipated. Almost now. I'm getting the corn. I'm getting that.
A lot of yeast.
Yeah, and I'm getting that classic, almost like an ice. You know what I'm kind of getting from this? It's almost like that smell you get from the Old English 800 without the Old English flavor note.
Well, it is not terribly unlike Old English 800 high gravity, which they sell in Mississippi. Y'all need to bring it to Louisiana. Thank you, Miller.
There's a greater population here, Miller.
This one has a little bit of a red apple skin. You know, a lot of these high gravity lagers will have green apple. This has like red apple skin, like a one of those Washington.
I'm not detecting any kind of funk on this at all. So I know that's where the judging mode is going on this, because it is a budget beer and it was bought at a budget price. So I know we're both of us are subliminally saying, okay, well, let's find out why it was bought at this price and what's really wrong with it, because your initial analysis was unfavorable.
And by the way, I have been to Tecate, Mexico. I visited that town once, and but unfortunately the brewery was shut down after the company was bought out. They just bought the brands. They shut the brewery down and moved all the operations to Monterrey, Mexico. Oh well, I can't control that. All right, so it's better than a year or two ago. I have to admit that.
Oh wow.
Hey, if I have to change my opinion, I'll be the first to do it.
Let's go ahead and try this. Oh, it's heavy.
Oh wait. I used to say it had a green apple taste. Now it's got red apple. Okay, red apple. Oh man, it's still got a lot of chalky notes.
You know what? And that's what I get with some of those double IPAs.
Chalk?
Yeah.
They can be a little gamey. You know, this one does have some interesting hop action going on though,
Yeah.
actually.
There's a little chalkiness.
I would never drink a whole can alone. I'm telling you.
It's huge.
This is one you need to share because
It's like drinking Hurricane High Gravity.
it's too strong. Well, okay, I think if you bought a 24-ounce can and you had 8 ounces per person, 3 samples, like a tasting, it would be better that way. When you get above 8 ounces on this, it gets real treacherous.
So what you're saying is that too bad we didn't have this when Jean-Pierre was here, because we all
Yeah, right, because we're drinking 12 ounces each, which I think is
could
too
have
much.
8, and he seemed to be favorable on some of my high gravity picks that I was picking out. So
He's into that, yeah.
yeah. Cheers, brother.
Cheers, Jean. But here's the thing I have, the problems I have with this beer. It is better than the initial run. I think the company might have sat down and said, look, we got some problems with this beer. You know, it's a little harsh, kind of nasty, if you want to use those terms. And so they cleaned it up. But it still has a pretty high level of chalk in the mouthfeel. And it's not too crisp. It's kind of like a sweet finish.
So let's discuss the chalkiness. I'm detecting it too.
Yeah, let's discuss
but
that.
What, through your expert years of tasting beers and doing reviews, what would you say might cause what we're both detecting as something is
I don't know. I don't know. When you get above 10%, it becomes almost unbearable. Like you get some of these high gravity lagers, even ales too, but more so in lagers. The chalkiness just becomes like repulsive. This one is not actually repulsive like 2 years ago.
So would you say it's an annoyance in the taste?
It's definitely not a benefit, and I don't know what causes it. I think it's just the ABV does. I think beer overall, there are exceptions. It just doesn't do that well at high levels of alcohol. Beer was designed to be a 4.5 to 5.5% product. So when you're getting into 7, 8, 9, 10, with lagers especially, which are supposed to be light body, crisp, and clean, it just brings in problems. Now, have some companies done a great job with high gravity lagers that have almost no imperfections? Yeah, Schlitz Gold Bull 8.5. There's a perfect example.
Gotta agree on that. That's an awesome beer.
The Old English High Gravity is a pretty good one. A little gamey, but then we did the Hurricane High Gravity. We were impressed with that from Anheuser-Busch, and we've said negative things about Anheuser-Busch over the years, but you had to say that you thought it was pretty good.
I thought it was pretty good, and so Colt 45 High Gravity.
Oh,
I
yeah,
had that
yeah,
one on some Miami.
We bought out of state.
I thought that was fantastic. So I would say,
I think they got
judging those against these, that maybe needs a little more homework done on this. Would you think that this was made by the same ingredients as the regular Tecate, the red label beer?
Well, I think it's the same general ingredients. They just adding more malt, they're adding more corn, and they're just jacking up the fermentables, so they're getting it to a higher alcohol level.
Do you think it's the corn? You think the corns can only support flavor note on a certain amount of alcohol?
Well, I think the corn is mainly used for just starch that is going to get converted into yeast. The sugar is going to go into
That's
yeast.
where the alcohol comes from. I get it. Yeast has something.
I think they could improve it. The thing about the Schlitz Gold Bull was, didn't they say they used 4 different malt varieties and 5 different hops? They might need to add different hop varieties to this to give it more. And I don't know how they would get rid of the chalkiness. It's all right, but if I was at a liquor store and I had some bizarre reason to drink a high gravity lager, which I actually never do, I would just get Hurricane High Gravity. I think Hurricane High Gravity kills this, and it's similar in price. Well, it's a little bit more expensive, I guess. But
well, in the regular aspect, I can see that.
Because when you drink Hurricane, there's no chalkiness.
Not to be confused with 1050 because it's in the
And now, we don't want to go back to that story.
Anyway.
There's a little fruitiness here, but it's not green apple. A lot of people say when the lagers have that strange apple flavor, it's a green apple, but I think this one has more of a red apple skin. So, it's okay to me. You got a whole case to drink down, which is incredible that you got such a huge case, If I had a whole case, I would get through it, but I wouldn't wake up saying, later today I'm going to drink some titanium,
No, I mean, it's just there. It's variety on it,
It's way better than the original titanium that I had from Mexico in 2014. That was 5.5. Man, that thing was so jagged and ragged and rough. It was just like, how can I drink this? And then I tried this American, I'm sorry, it's made in Mexico, but it's for the American market. It was pretty bad. I think they're improving it. Does the world at large care? No. But hey, it's in the stores. We shop, we buy stuff. So.
Well, I've had this brand in the blue label and the red label. Blue meaning light, and red meaning their standard beer. And I like both of them.
I like red.
I like the flavor profile off of it. I'm still getting that flavor profile on this. I hear what you're saying about the chalk. It doesn't bother me as much as it does you. The alcohol is piped up in this. I'm not really seeing what the difference is between blue, red, and black, other than the fact that there's more alcohol. So I don't know if they're going for that, hey, alcohol kick thing.
I think
Well,
that's
a
what
lot of people might like that. I think the alcohol is a little too high for the flavor. I think it should be brought down a little bit.
It's a little high. I wouldn't do an infusion with it.
Yeah, maybe till like, I don't know, maybe a 6 or maybe a 6.5. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a score before we run out of the memory card.
Right, yeah, that's the problem.
And I'm going to give this I'm going to give it a B plus.
Wow, very good. That's a
I'm
monumental
going to
score
I'm
for
going to
this
give it. I'm
thing.
going to give it a B plus. I'm going to put it probably at the low end B plus. I'm going to give it like an 86,
Well, to me, an 86 would just be a B. B plus would be like an 88.
which means it's good.
It's good. It's interesting.
It's not knocking your socks off or anything like
No.
that, but you know what? It's not bad beer. There's that chalky note just kind of throws it off, but other than that, I don't think it's bad beer.
I think it's interesting,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to a year or two ago when I said it was appalling.
I wonder how it tastes with a shot of hot sauce in it.
I think I'm going to go with one last sip. I'm going to go about 78 C plus.
With that said,
I'm not going to say it's.
we're going to go ahead and infuse it right now.
No. You can infuse. You can put a half a gallon of liquor in it. I'm not infusing this with nothing. All right, so Les Monton Relais. This is well, it's an interesting product. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but if you're adventurous and you have an open mind, could be something to look at. So thank you, Heineken, kinda. So thank you at least for making things interesting. Okay, go along with that. We still want to get the Tarvebach down here, the Heineken Tarvebach, but I don't have much confidence in that. So we're going to end this review by saying, y'all come on down to Jefferson Parish, Louisiana.
Drink better beer.